I'll start off with a quote from a book I owned when I was 15, starting off my journey, and it said, "A dress is a dress and a costume is a costume." The reason is a costume is very specific for a specific world, for a specific character, in your specific production. It's all tailored for someone. It's how you imagine the world and how you imagine each character. It's all unique, and it should be unique, and it should feel inspired, and it should be a creative process that gets you there.
There's this great thing we call the collective unconscious, and you're aware of things on a subconscious level. There are associations with color and the way things fit and certain garments that you don't even think about. They just become a nonverbal communication tool.
Every day when we put on clothes in the morning, we are trying to represent ourselves to the world in a certain way. Costumes is the first impression you get of any actor. They don't become an actor anymore, it's the character. It's not someone saying lines, it's a certain character speaking. It's the skin that they wear. The actor gives the character flesh, we give the character skin. My name is Johan Gallardo, and I am the costume designer for Theatre UCF's production of She Kills Monsters. The costume designer builds all the clothes in relation to the design elements that are happening around them, like lights and sets, and individually builds a world and how people would dress in this specific world.
It's a subconscious way of communicating motives of a character to an audience.
Costume is just a part of creating the illusion that is theater.
Because of the amount of time it takes to process the design work, we start usually 6 to 9 months ahead of time with the design meetings. So Johan's show is going to open in September of 2018, but he is currently in the process and has been in the process for a couple of months. He is working on all of those things now for the payoff of seeing the show on stage in about 9 months.
She Kills Monsters tells the story of Agnes, whom explores the world of Dungeons and Dragons as a way to connect with her little sister who passed away. It's inspired by youth and what the youth in 1995 were exposed to, like cartoons, like comic books, like Dungeons and Dragons, gameplays, things like that. Things that would try to really put me in the mindset of being a 15-year-old in 1995 watching these things. If your design is truly inspired by things you're seeing, it reflects. I really wanted to indulge in these teenage things and really feel a connection with the characters and then have that reflect in the costumes.
Obviously, when you're doing a theatrical piece, you're going to read the script first.
It goes down to an analyzing paperwork, how many people are in each play, how many people are wearing costumes, how many people need costumes for specific things.
You're going to look for any clues that are in what the character says, what other characters say about them, maybe in some of the stage notes, stage directions. And once you've got that, you're working with another team of designers.
In design meetings, you conceptualize the play, you imagine what the world's going to look like, and eventually it starts to shape into costumes. When it comes to rendering and drawing certain costumes, I like to be inspired by the show and by the specific show. I've been drawing my renderings in a comic book style. You know, that dark, thick line, like black line all over comic books, and those like, that cross-hatching. I wanted to be a part of it. I like to be a chameleon when it comes to design. It's not about me, it's about the show and what the show needs. And if I can absolutely take all my skill and adapt to that specific show, I just feel like it makes it that much more special and fun.
One of the things that we do as designers, we create what a lot of people call a costume Bible. It's a binder or a book that has all of our research and all of the swatches of the different fabrics we're considering for the different characters. It will have copies of our drawings, and we put it all in one place, so it sort of becomes like our little microcosm of our brain for that show. The thing that's great about theater is it's not an individual art form, it's a collaborative art form. It's not just you working in your own little bubble. You're also working with a makeup designer sometimes, a lighting designer, a set designer, the prop people, the director, and you all are getting together and making sure that you're all telling the same story.
The most important thing about these meetings is you get to hear what other people are doing. So when you hear that the lighting designers using green filters, don't use green dresses, you get to kind of like see where everyone's progress is.
It's really important that there's really strong communication amongst the design team, because there's nothing worse than having a beautiful, colorful costume and then you don't realize that they're using this strongly colored light, and the costume walks into the light and all of a sudden this beautiful red costume is brown because the light has green in it.
Designing and conceptualizing the show, I think it's always half the battle. The other half of the battle is production, and production starts with how you choose your fabrics. And fabric is extremely important depending on each show.
She Kills Monsters features an extreme amount of fight choreography. So one of the things he has to think about is not only is it going to look good, but is it going to move and be safe for them to do the fight choreography? So it may have this beautiful piece of velvet, but if it's not strong enough to hold up to the fight choreography, you can't use it. So you may look for something that looks sort of like that, but has some stretch added to it, so it gives it the active movement that it needs.
You definitely want range of movement, something that can stretch with the actor or actress. Those are all things we have to keep into consideration when you're doing the design and when you're picking things, only because the more you think about it then, the less of a problem it will be in the future. The smarter the fabric you pick now, the less of a headache you have later.
For each character, you may do multiple plates and have different options for fabrics that then you're seeing with the director, and you're feeling the fabric and feeling the weight of the fabric and how it's going to flow, and make sure that it's going to flow and do what you need it to do in terms of the costume.
For this specific show, more than fabric, I've done some little tweakings to the overall design. Like, I've decided that none of the girls who fight a lot have like sleeves that have caps, that way there's no tension here. Those are the little decisions you make to help the play. Now, it's not about the costume at that point. If you can help an actor during dress rehearsals and during the run not get caught in anything, you absolutely should take that opportunity. Communicating with my peers is absolutely my favorite thing to do here in the costume shop and around Theatre UCF, only because anyone you talk to has so much information. Everyone's brilliant and everyone's really learning their craft so well that you can only go right by talking to people about a certain idea and what they can give to that idea to make it better.
One of the things that's really great about working in academic theater is the mentoring that we get to do with students. One of my favorite things in the world is watching the light bulb that goes off over someone's head when they get it. It's really gratifying to see them learn and see them grow.
In our costume shop here at Theatre UCF, the environment really is quite positive, and it's always about learning. And when you have so many people who are so inspired and so dedicated to what they do, you learn a lot every day. We have our mentors who, for all the students, they help us through our designs, our builds, our classes. We're a family, you know, people care about you. And that's, I feel like, another part of theater that's magical. It's everyone cares about each other here. Everyone cares about what you're doing, and if you're doing well, and if you're getting better at what you do. That when people believe in you, which people here believe in you, it does a lot. I feel absolutely prepared leaving the program next year, graduating, because I've had people here who have been great mentors and great teachers and great support systems.
There's a real magic to that moment when the lights come up on a scene and it looks like what you saw in your head.
When you hear someone next to you go, oh, that's pretty, like, oh, thank you, I made that. Or something like that, oh, I designed that. Or when someone gasps, someone, oh, wow. It's great.
There's also something great about you're sitting in the audience and they're seeing a show for the first time, and maybe you've seen it 3 or 4 times through dress rehearsal process. And so some of that magic goes away, and then you hear an intake of breath when a beautiful costume walks on stage. Those are the best moments of all, because it's not somebody trying to react for you, it's just their natural reaction.
Anyone who does theater first does it for themselves and second does it for the audience. Seeing everyone, enjoy it and be there, present, and not even just enjoy your costumes, just enjoy everything. It's just makes it all seem worth it. And it is worth it.